From a neurotypical perspective, our sensitivity to justice is seen as a problem. But is it us who have the problem? Hello and welcome to Somewhere on the Spectrum. For the rest of this month's episodes, we are outside in my grandma's garden. Everything's a little bit different. The wind is blowing. I'm hoping you can't hear it. We have roses in the background. You may be able to hear bird song at various times, and if you're lucky, maybe a butterfly or two will pass through. I hope you like it. There are also loads of lightning bugs here, which are teeny tiny little bugs, and they are really annoying. So maybe itching some more than usual. Today, I want to talk about black and white thinking, one of the most commonly mentioned traits in autism that are considered problematic. Being able to demonstrate black and white thinking is one of the traits that will definitely get you diagnosed. The Autism Parenting Magazine describes black and white thinking as a cognitive pattern where people view situations as strictly good or bad. They go on to say, in this binary thinking, there is no middle ground or shades of grey. Apparently, it means we may struggle when things aren't clear-cut, and it can lead to struggles with social interactions and may hurt relationships, and may mean that we struggle to understand nuance or sarcasm. Now, arguably, they are spot on. But also, I think this view is very much defined by an external view of autism. Autism from the outside, if you will. Since humans started identifying and pathologizing autistic traits, not that long ago actually, it has always been studied by neurotypical people observing us. Even if they spoke to the autistic people, they would often reframe the answers they got into their own neurotypical perspective. It's only very recently that autistic people have started to become the researchers, and in addition, the increase of books written by autistic people has started to demonstrate that many of the neurotypical assumptions about autistic people, once placed into an internal autistic perspective, look very different. And with black and white thinking, there's a certain paradox. Are we black and white thinking? Or is this actually a clear topic that we're talking about? Is this actually an obvious thing that we're discussing? Morality is one such topic. From a neurotypical perspective, our sensitivity to justice is seen as a problem. But is it us who have the problem? From a neurodiverse perspective, the fact that so many systems have been built that only take into account the most able and often male bodies is problematic. For me, this begins with the most basic question. Does life have value? Any life, plant, animal, human, child, different cultures, religions, skin colors, all capacity levels, sick, healthy, working, not working, housed, unhoused, poor, rich. For me, this is a hard yes. That makes war, for example, simple. Just stop. Every single life has value. Therefore, war is pointless, harmful, and frankly, a highly inefficient way of having an argument. From a neurotypical perspective, this view is too simplistic. It's nuanced, it's complicated, they'll say. You're too naive, too innocent. As I've grown older, I've not lost this belief in the right of living things. As I've grown wiser and more experienced, I've understood that people who want the power, money, and resource that war provides have kind of gaslit the rest of us. To me, this isn't black and white thinking on my part, but highly concerning, problematic thinking on the part of anyone who thinks there is ever any good reason for war or destruction or harm in any form. A similar thing happens on a much smaller level. Coffee tastes bad. So does alcohol, to me. I'm talking about to me. There is nothing to change that. These are solid facts in my brain. They are my experience. While I understand that other people like them, I don't. And I don't think I need to change my mind. If I, as a neurodiverse person, can accept that we all have different tastes and preferences, then why is this so hard for neurotypical people to accept, especially around alcohol? But here again, with experience, we learn that alcohol is an important part of the social construct. When we opt out, we are seen as breaking a social code. It makes it harder for people to bond with us and easier for us to avoid hazing and other peer pressure activities that will usually lead to us conforming, or should lead to us conforming, they think. So is it my black and white taste buds that are the problem, or the neurotypical social expectations that require willingness to get drunk to get acceptance into the social circle? There is no doubt that my black and white thinking has got me in trouble before. When I refused to change my plans at work because, as the only professional in the field at the company, I was sure that I was right. My colleagues disagreed. My unwillingness to change or adapt my ideas was seen as stubborn, rude, ill-advised, and certainly not team behavior. In the very first story that I shared on this channel, when I refused to go to lunch when I was working on cruise ships, my black and white thinking was the cause. And at that time, I did have a lack of experience. The challenge for us black and white thinkers is that sometimes we don't have all of the information. Our perspective is based on limited facts. Other times, the value of our point lies in the fact that it is our point. It is based on our perspective. Somehow, we need to remain open to new information and ask for it, and stay strong in our own perspective, because sometimes we are spot on. For neurodiverse people, the more real facts you can give us, the easier we will change our minds. But they have to be real facts. Your perspective or opinion will not move us. I hope in the future more research can clarify exactly what is going on. I'd also like to see more research into neurotypical social constructs and peer pressure, and some clarity on why, for neurodiverse people, our moral compass seems so much stronger and clearer than the neurotypical one, which seems highly changeable to social circumstances. Let me know in the comments how you think your black and white thinking has impacted your life, and where it's been helpful or problematic. See you next time. Bye.